Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for April 30th, 2018. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Short term, we continue to flow higher. This is what we talked about before. Ever since this little rejection day, we kind of mentioned that we could be going higher short term a little bit, but cautiously higher. Not too much more, because on a longer term basis, medium term, we're going mostly sideways. And we're right at the center of the larger key range. And when you're here, there's no real edge, and you have to be very patient about waiting for the edges to be tested. Some edge at the very least. 2800 would be this short-term edge, and then recent lows down at the key range low would be a significant edge as well. 2529. We're coiling up right now. In the trading room, we continue to talk about the ES and how it has lower high after lower high, major rotations the last two legs, but we really haven't seen the recent leg give us a rotation here. So are we due for another major slide down? If so, we could be really pushing through recent support and perhaps getting into the next major target below, which would be the 50% extension, and that's going to be at 2354. So that would be a significant move if that were to play out. Again, overall, this thing continues to compress. The energy's building up. I believe the higher odds trade will be perhaps to an edge of the range, and then you'll be looking at a fade right back. That's the higher odds probability trade. At some point we may see some expansion, but until then we just have to continue to let it develop and continue to be patient for the better opportunities. Alright, let's take a look here at the NQ. Very similar behavior in the NQ, trading between its recent extremes, also trading right at the center of its key range, which is 66.53.75. When you're trading again at the center, there's not a whole lot to do. At some point you do know that price can't really do business in here for too much longer. It's going to have to see a move one way or another, and at some point we may see a pretty aggressive 3 to 5 day move down, followed by an even better bounce back toward value and perhaps even higher. So again, if we were to drop into this LVN right here, which is about 61.50, that's what we mentioned the last time, and look at the bounce it had, we could see another similar type of bounce. Oftentimes you want to take out recent lows, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but any drop into that zone could be a great opportunity to buy. So that's one thing to keep an eye on down the road. Alright, let's take a look at the crude oil chart right here. If you look at crude, obviously in a longer term we've been trending up. It's been a very bullish market. Here recently we've developed this key range right here with the midpoint here, and we've built out. We've got an ascending pattern. We've broken it to the upside, and we've held above it the entire time, held above the 66.29s. But we really haven't pushed beyond that level here recently. And so when you get beyond a zone and don't extend the move, there is a potential for these late buyers to get trapped, and you see a rotation back toward the midpoint of that key range. That would be 62.18. So from 66.29, any failure to hold that zone would suggest that all of these late buyers would get their stops run all the way back to 62.18. Alright, let's take a look at gold. Here's a look at gold right here. Let's take that off. For the most part, gold has continued to push quietly lower. This is what we talked about before. Right here on that day was a stop run day. I mentioned then that we could be looking at a move to 1300 to 1306.60, followed by some sort of rejection that leads us right back up. Again, we're almost there. We got into 1317 right now, 1380, sorry, and we're right at that zone. So overall, we are in and approaching support. So any moment now, either today or tomorrow, perhaps today could be a stop run day that really sees a big drop down. Tomorrow could be some sort of rejection, and we could be headed right back up. So again, that's the primary idea right now. More downside, and then once we take out these lows right here, you see that low here, this low here, that one there, these, you bring that over, that's around this zone. Take those lows out, form a rejection of your own, and then it would be an opportunity to bring it back to 1338 at the very least, followed by a move into 1360. At some point we do have to see expansion from this range. Do we do that now? Perhaps we would have to really break down below support, make it make it resistance and start to work our way down. That's what that would look like. So again, right now the primary idea is to fade the edge back up, but short term we're looking for more downside today and into the next day or two until we get to that area of support. Alright, taking a look lastly at Bitcoin. Bitcoin again has been quite bullish here in the short term ever since a SOT run on this day here. We had the narrow 5-day range, it tightly coiled and a big burst higher. That was an indication of short-term accumulation. We got another burst right here of compression and bang, expansion out of that range. We continue to hold market structure on the way up. All of this suggests more upside. We have been very slow about it here. Again, we're probably compressing yet again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days sideways, just like we did before. We could be due for another burst higher. Again, what I mentioned before on this one, any pullback, even as deep as 7,500, could still be a great buying opportunity for a push into 11.3 to 12K, right? So that's the next upside zone. Any pullback into 75 could get you as high as that zone. So that's what we're looking for here. Again, very tight compressed trading action here lately. That suggests that we could be looking at a breakout move here pretty soon. Any push to the downside could be a great opportunity to look for a failed new low to slingshot this thing higher. Alright, that's it for now. I have one quick update for tomorrow. I will be hosting the May monthly outlook after the market close at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. You can join by using the join.me/PivotBoss URL. I will send out a tweet about that, perhaps even an email, so be on the lookout for that. We had a great one last month. Some great candidates came out of that one, and we're going to be looking to find some more great candidates for the month of May. Alright, that's it for now. Let's see how this plays out heading into the new week of trading. Good luck and trade well.